Hey y'all, good morning. Something is wrong with my intro. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I have to upload it again as a piece of collateral in my studio. And good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey y'all, good morning. Something is wrong with my intro. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. I have to upload it. Look, I'm again as a piece of collateral in my studio, and I'm bugging y'all. I don't know what just happened. I went somewhere in my mind. Good morning. I just had like a whole, just that quick. I just had a whole kind of deja vu, outer body. Something just happened. Something some consciousness, if you will, just connected. But good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on into the room. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Sora Deb. Good morning, Sora Antoinette. Good morning, Sora Natasha. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Carmen. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Buenos Dias, Sister Marilyn. Good morning, Madam President Candace. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning to you here on the Book of Faces. Good morning also to our village keepers over on YouTube. Good morning, Rihanna, Dr. Rihanna, and Dr. Miranda, and Dr. Chelsea. Good morning to our freedom fighter comrade, the Reverend Ronnie Galvin. Good morning, Free. Good morning, Byron. Dr. Byron, it's so good to hear see and read your name. Good morning. You was like 1 week shy of me calling and being like, okay, Byron, where are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Alafia. To my sister, the Reverend, known on here is Ala Ashe. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to each of you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on into the space. Good morning, Reverend Chesla. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Reverend Carm, Dr. Michael. Good morning, Rugsy. How you doing, friend? Happy New Year. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You know, must be some endorphins in saying good morning because it's making me feel better. Two people yesterday told me about the power of smiles. One was the author Steve Petro. What is his new book called? I think it's maybe it's wait, I could tell you. It is called The Joy You Make. The Joy You Make by Stephen Petro. He was talking about, what happens when you smile, what it does for others. And then my baby girl, the icon, Phoenix, talked about how she learned in her psychology course is that when you smile, when you just straight smile, it makes other people smile and it releases these endorphins. And so I feel you smiling through the screen. And so, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Bishop Ernest. Good morning, Reverend Verzola. And good morning, Reverend Aaron. Good morning, Comrade Confidence. Good morning. Just giving y'all a chance to come on into the room. If you would, say good morning back, y'all. To those who have not said good morning, for those of you who just oftentimes sit silently and watch, good morning. Go ahead and jump in today and type a little something and let the people know that you're here. Let the people know that you're here. Good morning, Reverend Dr. Sherry Brown Jackson. Good morning. Good morning, Takia. Good morning, Reverend. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Pastor LaFlawn. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I cannot wait to come home to worship in person. I'm so excited to see all of the beautiful, phenomenal things that you are doing, that you and the community are doing at Second Baptist. The advent of the singles, the young adult ministry. It's just, you are just the spark of fresh, new millennial leadership that our community needs. And I'm so proud of you, of the work that you're doing, Pastor Flood. Good morning, Kelly, Reverend, Pastor, Doc. Listen, all the Reverend doctors on here, can we pause for a moment to say that I don't take that for granted? I don't take that for granted that you find community here. I don't know if that makes me, you know how when they do the trainers, I don't know if that makes me, a community of communities, but whatever it is, I'm appreciative. And I also imagine that we are coming in a space because we have identified this space where we can come and hear some wisdom bearing and some truth speaking. And so, Ashe, I want to say real quickly though, I did go to the Movable Feast this weekend, the 13th annual Movable Feast, sponsored by the Bookmarks Bookstore here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And from our community griot, our community elder, Dr. Daniel Dr. Daniel Black's new book, Isaac's Song, is out. Dr. Daniel Black's new book, Isaac's Song, is out. And I'm just going to read this inward jacket for you in case you need a little bit of encouragement to get it. Isaac is at a crossroads in his young life. Growing up in Missouri, the son of a caustic, hard-driving father, he was conditioned to suppress his artistic pursuits and physical desires. But now, in the late 80s, Chicago, Isaac has finally carved out a life of his own and built up the courage to seek out a community. Yet, just as he begins to embrace who he is, two social catalysts, the AIDS crisis and Rodney King's attack, collectively extinguish his hard-earned joy. At a therapist's encouragement, Isaac begins to write down his story. As he taps into his creative energy, he commences a journey back to his family, his ancestral home in Arkansas, and the inherited trauma of the past. But a surprise discovery will either unlock the truths he's seeking or threaten to derail the life he's fought so hard to claim. Poignant, sweeping, and luminously told, Isaac's Song is a return to the beloved characters of Don't Cry for Me and a high watermark in the career of an award-winning author. And that is none other than our own Dr. Daniel Omatosho Black, who is an author and a professor of African American Studies at Clark Atlanta University. His novels include Don't Cry for Me, an Indie Next and Book of the Month Club pick, as well as The Coming, Perfect Peace, and They Tell Me of a Home. He is the winner of the Georgia Author of the Year Award and the Distinguished Writer Award from the Middle Atlantic Writers Association, and has been nominated for the Townsend Prize for Fiction and the Ernest J. Gaines Award. He was raised in Blackwell, Arkansas, and lives in Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to my Baba, Dr. Daniel Omatosho Black. Go pick this up, y'all. Go pick this up. Ashe. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Yes, go pick up Isaac's Song. He sends love to you. Derek and I had a chance to be in community with him on yesterday. It's just he's such a blessing, such a community blessing. He's so touchable, just touchable. Listen, we got. That's what I want to say. I want to. I don't know where to jump in, but to jump in. I don't have one. No, let me run it back. For those of you who are here and you're looking for me to, to give you a Bible text, I don't have one today. I have some things moving around in my mental and emotional space. But I have another, not a different, another. There's a difference between another and a different. Different means that sometimes it's not the same as, and that's not what I'm suggesting. Another means that it has that the level of sacred value is equal. And so there's another text that I have this morning, and then I just have a few thoughts, and then we're headed to the clearing, and you'll see why in just a few seconds. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. These people are not motherfucking playing. Now that that's settled, there's a lot to recap and recount that I won't. If you expect me to have some sort of master plan, I don't. But just because they're up there carrying on Project 2025 as we told you they would, raining down oppressive statute after oppressive statute, strategy is not lost on us. I told y'all a long time ago, danger is real, but fear is not. And I'm going to encourage you not to let fear distract you in this moment. This seemingly relentless, very fast shift in power is designed to present a brute show of force with a menacingly imperious and impervious level of propaganda. And that's great, actually. That means we know what time it is. We fear what we do not understand, right? So never forget that you actually understand exactly what's going on here, so just do not engage. Fear-mongering and rage baiting will become routine, online and in person. So if there was ever a time to shut our asses up, it's now. Now, I'm not telling you to allow yourself to be silenced or intimidated into submission. I'm telling you to sit back, learn, and move in silence. My granddaddy used to say, you let somebody talk long enough, they'll tell you everything you need to know, but we need not show our hand. Now, that's not to say we can go on living our daily lives unaffected by this tragic upheaval, because 92% at all you want, this is not just going to affect the brown people and the gays, as if brown and gay was mutually exclusive from black. But even if it was, as a 92% of myself, let me tell you what would apply to you regardless. These anti-immigration laws, hate to tell you and I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but they don't just concern the people you see cleaning up your hallways or doing construction work on side of the road. This man is also trying to undo birthright citizenship, which was a part of the 14th Amendment, established so that African Americans could be recognized as full citizens. And if he were to put a stop to that after February 19th, that would mean an end to the whole first generation born American deal that's become part of the fabric of so many Nigerian, Jamaican, Haitian, and other black family dynamics across the diaspora. He's gunning for your insulin. And these days, that doesn't just mean grandma's insulin, because next to American Indians and Alaskan natives, non-Hispanic black adults have the second highest prevalence of diagnosed diabetes in the United States. So while he hasn't removed the $35 cap yet, because that's a law and there has to be a process, don't forget that not only did he win the presidency, but the House and Senate have a Republican majority as well. In his effort to forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based, he sounded off in his first state with an order to end radical and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing to eradicate all DEI programs, departments, and budgets federally. And then there's the executive order to reverse Lyndon B. Johnson's executive order from 1965. Now, what he might not know is that the Equal Employment Opportunity Act itself cannot be revoked because it too is a law that was enacted by a former president. But these people are already trying to supersede states' rights, so who knows what could happen down the road. Now, most of these things will affect federal workers first, because that's all he legally has control of. They are already sending emails telling people they got 10 days to suss out DEI contractors and report them, because according to his administration, we already got the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and anything else on top of that is unconstitutional and just reverse racism. These people are constantly twisting and misrepresenting factual information, not just to reach their own political aims or to cover up America's misgivings, but to also perpetuate the long-standing idea that black people cannot handle freedom, that we have either mismanaged it, taken advantage of it, or that in our hands is simply dangerous. And to that I say, you're right, because the freedom that you speak of, the only kind of freedom that has ever been awarded to us, has only ever been a version of it, an abbreviation, a quasi-freedom meted by whatever measure of privilege is deemed expendable at the time. Because at every opportunity for progress, whiteness does not hold itself accountable for its wrongdoing. Instead, it inflates itself by taking credit for the progress that was made in spite of it, because it for damn sure wasn't made on behalf of it. And then it says, well, how much privilege am I willing to give this time? Because I still got to maintain order, and somehow they always still want more. You damn Skippy. So they get chaotic when we start to make our dollar out of 15 cents. They start scrambling when we turn the world upside down with our 15 minutes of fame. And if you haven't noticed, it's not just a battle between white and black, between good and evil, but a game of call and response. And it's what we do with our taste of freedom that never fails to send them into a frenzy. And I don't know how many people of faith we got in the audience today, but one thing about my God is he does his best work in times of chaos. Hey! Woo! Because yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of what? Hey! Oh, he prepares a table before me when? In the presence of who? Oh, okay. But alas, faith without works is dead. And in the face of all this, it's time for you to tap into community. That means to engage in community relief efforts. Educate yourself on community resources. Be more open to the people who look like you and let go of the individualism that is set up to leave us weak and vulnerable. And while you're at it, shut up about it. Why? Because the revolution will not be televised and it won't be on social media either. Yeah, what's up?
Amen. Let the church say amen and ashe. Sometimes we must, and we absolutely, or oftentimes, not even sometimes, should fight the need to go recreate. It is this very Western ideal that we need to sit and listen for a word and to pine all night for the Spirit to speak and to share with us what thus saith the Lord, when the Lord has already spoken through somebody else. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And so when I watched yesterday's version of the parking lot, or Friday's version, I said, and that's it. That's it. I don't need whatever I was going to say was going to be that. It was going to be that. Amen. And I don't need to go find anything. I don't need to sit and listen. That's it. She has spoken for all of us. Ashe and amen. So I just want to, and that is the word for me, for the people of God. Come on, say thanks be to God. So I want to offer also another text here. Let me see if I can get to them. In addition to that. So I also on the 24th, I think that was Friday, I posted just a quick post, just in the words of my colleague, Dr. Mia Sloan, Hear My Heart. And it said, I was saying how it wasn't too early to reflect on Good Friday sermons and how I just rewatched a sermon. Actually, it was my sermon that I rewatched when preaching at Trinity United Church of Christ, and my word was thirst. At any rate, I talked about how, I didn't know if I was ready to hear any kind of musing about sacrifice and about mortality, given what we've experienced only in the first 3 weeks of January. And I said in this post, for those of you who read it, that it specifically said that I don't yet know, I don't know yet what that is, but I just know that I can't currently hold language about giving up, sacrifice, mortality, etc. Given parts of our world are experiencing genocide and other parts questionable governmental regimes, unless it's directed at the top 1%, just thoughts moving through my mind. And so that was what I posted. And shout out to the Reverend, soon to be Kyle Stevenson, a brilliant mind. Future Dr. Kyle Stevenson, a brilliant mind. And Kyle, who is also a liturgist, a liturgical you know what, Kyle? I don't know if this is even an area, but I'm going to call you this, a liturgical historian. He is a liturgical historian. But he said this in response to my post. He said, but we are also beneficiaries of privilege and power. Oppressed and oppressor, ? We are culpable. Is the top 1% the only people that need to repent, self-empty themselves from clinging to their status as something to be exploited? Kyle, it's been... Listen, I've been it's been in my mind. Let me bring it back. I was saying that I can't, like, basically that it's the top 1%. Don't bring that language over here. Kyle says, but we are also beneficiaries of privilege and power, oppressed and oppressor. We are culpable. And then he asked the question, is the top one, just go with me, we got to make the connection. Is the top 1% the only people that need to repent, self-empty themselves from clinging to their status as something to be exploited? The question here, friends, I wondered, is it too soon to have this conversation? The pastoral part of me wondered, is it too soon to really engage in this kind of conversation? And so there are two parts that are running with me this morning alongside with the prophet Lene just offered. One was about not being given the spirit of fear, and the other is about our parallel position right now, parallel to the people of Israel who were handed over into Babylonian captivity because they refused to honor their covenantal agreement with God. And one of the covenantal agreements with God was to always remember the agreement made between God and the people. And in honoring that agreement, one or a collective would be honoring their cultural identity. They would be honoring their cultural roots. They would be honoring their sacred memory, remembering the faith of their foreparents, remembering the connections that Yahweh made with their foreparents, and remembering the ways of escape that was foundational, the several ways of escape, right? First, Abraham leaving, and then God coming to retrieve the people through a series of plagues and parting, the Reed Sea, whether symbolically or literally, that their inability to not worship other gods. Here, I'm not about to get into the conversation between pagan gods, spiritual. I'm not getting to, but to worship other things, to place idols in the space of, even if those idols were foreign governments, and because they refused, my goodness, because they refused to acknowledge and to honor consistently, then God, who had been a God of provision for them, a God who had often rescued them, released them into the hands of captivity. And so the question that I have been sitting with since Cal busts me upside my head in that way has been I'm almost to say it, what has been the culpability of the 99%? Y'all, Jesus. Because because it is easy, and it is really, really easy and comfortable to say that the producers of our problems are colonizers. And then Kyle goes on. Kyle, I don't know if you up early this morning. But then Kyle goes on to say, I know that we don't all like Paul, but he says, then he goes on to say, and all have sinned. So my challenge was, it's the very thing that I was speaking toward in that post. When I'm saying, listen, don't come to me with all of that, sacrifice, mortality. I can't. I can't deal with it. Kyle flips it and says, but you must. But you must, you must see where you also need to self empty. Okay, I hear you. I hear y'all, friends, but how so? How sway? If then we parallel ourselves with the people that we read about in the book, who were handed over to, is it to the Babylonians and then to the Persians, who were handed over, and also when they took a stand and said, because we not get ready to pay you taxes. If we said then that we were, if we liken ourselves, then we would also see that a part of our sin, our separation from our authentic selves, which prevents us from seeing ourselves in the light and the presence of the one who created us, this separation creates a void, and that void leaves room. Oh my goodness. If we were to see that, then might we be able to see our ways of participating in a corrupt empire? Might we be able to see at some point, Ronnie Galvin, help me, at some point, where do the lines blur between desiring equity and equality and becoming one and the same? Was this not the people of Israel's issue? Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. That at some point our desire for equity and civil and human rights, which is our inalienable right, became muddled in the project of the empire to rule. Hence, our feed in to the capitalist system of the West, our feed in to this ideology of individualism, crabs in a barrel, the more I have, the more I want. I got here by myself. I pulled my own self up by my bootstraps. And even the I'm qualified, place that on not only American exceptionalism, but exceptional Negrohood, with the belief that because we are even more qualified, that we have striven to be the exceptional Negroes, i.e. Black excellence, that exceptional hood becomes not the norm. My God, today. So then we find ourselves participating in the very system that has enslaved us, in the very system that used and commodified our bodies to make the money that founded many of the corporations and the organizations that we are now attempting to boycott. Oh my goodness. And we demonize, help me, Holy Ghost, and we demonize, my goodness, our churches, our white evangelical theology, our missionary theology, our white evangelical toxic theology, purported that anything that did not resemble it or its symbolic white Jesus was problematic. Hence, we then bought into the hermeneutic, also meaning interpretation, We released our hermeneutic of suspicion, and we took full on this hermeneutic that placed our bodies as a problem. Christianity has a problem with the body. Certain kinds of interpretive lenses in Christianity have a problem with the body, which is so interesting because the main tenet of this faith tradition is incarnation, wherein God becomes one of us. God comes through humanity so that God could feel what humanity feels, so that we can know that God is one of us, and that action in humanity comes forth in many of us, but it is illuminated in the person of Jesus. Come on here, Melva. What are you saying? Hence, as Christianity, which by the way is an African traditional religion, as Christianity moves from Kemet, moves into modernity, if you will, it takes on by its European interpreters, it takes a different turn, wherein it is used to have power over and not power with. That other bodies, non-melanated bodies, then construct God, anthropomorphize God, give God a human characteristic difference. I hear you, naysayer. Well, you just said God becomes one of us. Yes, when God's spirit takes on humanity, that means God becomes a follower even of God. My goodness. Come on, Holy Spirit, and speak this thing. But there is a difference between anthropomorphizing God, suggesting that God is giving God these human flawed characteristics. But when that has happened, and using this the colonizing mentality, wherein that this one-sided interpretive lens and these oh, come on, y'all, is it called eugenics? The idea that those who have melanated skin are less than those who don't, and believing that they are mentally less. That they are dumb, that they are like beasts of the wild. Friends, at some point, we bought into and believed and internalized the project of the Catholics. The project of the Church of Portugal and the Church of England and the Church of all of the other European countries that traveled to the continent. But can I tell you this? Not just the Church of the European countries. Can I tell you how the Arabs had also a role in African enslavement on the east coast of Africa? Do we want to hear it or do we not? And so we are culpable. Maybe not you, maybe not me, but yes, me, and yes, you. We are partly responsible. Because when the ish hits the fan, it really doesn't matter when we stand back and start pointing the finger to say, see, for those of y'all who didn't vote, it doesn't matter now. In the words of King, because we got some difficult days ahead of us. It doesn't matter now because, in the words of Oprah Hendricks, we are in for a fight of epic proportions. It doesn't matter now. it doesn't, that conversation, that sail has sailed, that boat has sailed. It's a waste of your breath. I know that you're hurt and you're wounded by it, but I imagine that there were also some people in the community of the people of Israel. It wasn't their fault either. They were actually doing what they should have been doing. And they were actually still participating in their communal and cultural rituals. They were still obeying and they were still following the practices of their people. Not everybody. But it really doesn't matter once, even if it's a small number, decides to go against. It opens the way for everybody to fall victim. So, Kyle, yes. In the words of Dr. Jamie that I just read, the 1%, the 1% can't move without the 92 or the 99. Yes, Attorney Natasha, retroactive finger pointing ain't gonna help us now. It's just, I know it might make you feel better. It might be a way of expression for you. It might be, cathartic, but it's not going to help us. Asking people why you didn't vote is not going to help us. Blasting them on social media, it's just going to keep reminding us of what didn't. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help us. Well, Melva, what is going to help us? I mean, one thing that Lene said, she said, strategy is not lost on us. She said, danger is real, but fear is not. What will help us? Sacred memory. Not remembering who didn't vote. Not remembering who said down with the system. And not remembering who voted for the opposition. None of that. None of that matters. Listen. It doesn't matter now. What matters now is how we make it from now to the end of 4 years. Yeah. And here's what I want to say. I've said this before. Strategy is not lost on us. For everybody, including me, who has lended their comment to what we should be doing now on social media. Listen, stop. Full stop. Get off. Stop. Stop it. Stop. Let us, including myself, stop. Social media is not our battleground. I'm going to say it again. Social media is not our battleground. And as a result, I am announcing now that I am in the process of moving Pink Robe Chronicles somewhere else to another social media site in a different form, but we are going to largely start gathering underground. I do have a page up on Fanbase under Pink Robe Chronicles. But much of what we engage in, my work is going to be directly now moving more towards the Ujima Collective. If you know, you know. If you don't, stay tuned and somebody will let you know. Listen for the sound. Be ready because the train is coming. Spirit has shared with me clearly. I heard it Friday sitting at the basketball game. I told Derek, listen, I'm going to have to come off of PRC is going to have to come off of. We're going to have to come. We're going to have for this move, for this season. It is not strategic and it is not wise and it is not safe. It is not strategic, it is not wise, and it is not safe. And then the Spirit started bringing to my mind, right, prior to our digital age, the way that our ancestors moved. Hence the name Underground Railroad. Listen, And so even this conversation, right? Even I am bridling my tongue till we get to the clearing, because y'all, what we have to know, for those of you who think that, COINTELPRO returns now without apology. Now listen to me, and listen to me clearly. This is why, because here's the sin, and I'm going to just name it. Here's the sin. The sin is our belief that our ancestral legacy, that we chart from the continent through the Caribbean, through the Americas to here, but let's start with the continent, is our disavowal of our sacred memory. Our grip on white Jesus. Our grip on a kind of evangelicalism, whoever that Sambo is that prayed at the inauguration, and then had the nerve to be on somebody's news show talking about why the bishop who preached, why she didn't preach Jesus. That kind of coonery is at the highest proportions. That's a sin. It's a sin to be that ignorant. A sin. It is a complete sin to your God and to your ancestors to be that ignorant. And you're going straight to hell. Not only are you in hell, I want to tell you that I'm driving your car and I'm dropping you off. Yeah, straight. Yeah. That's the sin. And so the idea of all of these, we are moving with a level of fear, and fear makes you chomp at the bit. All of this, what is it? Influx of knowledge, and it's not even really knowledge, it's just information, right? Because only a few of us are knowledgeable about what we're actually reading. Not all of us are knowledgeable about governmental processes. Yeah. And so the rest of us are social media influencers trying to rightfully divide constitutional law and executive level law. Come on. Yeah. Herein lies the problem. Because yes, Baba, the cross and the auction block are one and the same. So we are responsible when we have not held our community members. Stop. I'm not going to keep harping on us. Here's some strategies that already exist. Ready for number one? I said this before, and y'all should know. Those of y'all who know me should already know what I'm about to say. Those of you for whom your pastors and your local church people told you not to, engage in this practice, because, and all of that black. And those of you who are like, oh, they're so hotep. Let me tell you something. The Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles, is the strategy. Period. Hands down, period. And I absolutely acknowledge the problematic being that of the founder and his transgressions. I don't resolve or absolve them, but I will say, as being taught by my elder, one being Mama Dr. E.T. Hari Toure, that the principles of Kwanzaa the principles of Kwanzaa were founded by a collective. Karenga was the front person, but he was not the sole founder of the Nguzo Saba. The Nguzo Saba comes from out of a council of elders, bringing their wisdom, engaging in sacred memory, going back to retrieve the necessities of various spiritual traditions and cultural ways of knowing and being across the continent and those collected here in these Americas, bringing them together. And it was Karenga who was the front person, but the collective founded the principles. So for those of you who say, I don't practice this because of Karenga's history, I want to help you to understand that he is not the founder of the principles. That part. That part. That part on that part on that part. That part. On that part on can I mean, damn. Karenga's not the founder of mutual aid. Not the founder of collective work and responsibility. He's not the founder of unity. He's not the founder of creativity. He's not the founder of faith and purpose. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? You know how ridiculous? I told you it's a sin to be this ignorant. But this is what will save us. We've always had strategies. You know what another one of our strategies? If memory serves me correct, the Black Panther Party had a 10-point platform. They were calling for universal health care then. And when this system refused to respond, they created their own Bill of Patient Rights that is now universal in this country. Do you know that we have free lunch programs, not because someone in the executive order, the executive branch of government, not because, some lawmaker had this wonderful idea. You know why we have free lunch? And breakfast, excuse me, is because the community, is because the BPP fed the community. Yeah. Listen, we are not without strategies, y'all. We have strategies. We have boycotted before. 1950, what was it, 7 and some change or around about, the Montgomery bus boycott. But you know what made the Montgomery bus boycott successful? Is that mostly everyone participated. I won't suggest that there weren't arguments because we didn't have social media then. But for the most part, everyone participated. Listen, we are not without strategies. We are not with, don't you let folks tell you we are, listen. I won't even say, I'm not, just hear what I say. The rest of them we need to discuss elsewhere, which leads me to this. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Not hush. Shut your damn mouth. Shut up. I mean it just like I'm saying it. Shut the hell up. Shut up. Negroes, niglets, shut up. Shut your mouth. Shut it up. Shut up. Yeah, shut up. Why? Because you are adding to the problem. So let me then run back here before I head over to the clearing and say this. to everyone. And if you think I'm talking about you, I'm talking about you. Shut up. I can only speak about me. Lovingly, respectfully, I want to say, please do not put my name on any list. Don't name me, don't type my name, don't say Pink Robe Chronicles unless it has to do with something about, some kind of grant or some kind of investment, and then inbox me right quick so I can read. Don't put me at danger, and don't put me in a place of unwanted surveillance. My ego does not need checking in that way. And I know that anytime it has been done, has not been done in a space of malevolence, or, but it's been done out of a place of honor and pride. I want to say, though, I don't need that kind of check-in. And I don't want that kind of check-in. I don't want that kind of heat. I don't want that kind of light. Because, baby, it is driven by ego. And let me say this. Shout out to my sister, Ansora, Dr. Shout out to her. I ain't even going to call her name. And shout out to her who, if you read the post, said something like, and even your favorites, it is traumatizing for them when you keep posting their names, right? And I've said this before, because each time you post their names, you require them to live up to whatever the last phenomenal thing you believe they did was. They don't even get a moment to rest in their humanity because they trying to live up subconsciously to this, top 10, top 5, shut the up. Shut up. Can you imagine Harriet Tubman having a public list tacked on the door of the people who were assisting her with the Underground Railroad? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the people who liberated our comrades in the Black radical movement, who liberated them to freedom? Can you imagine them asking publicly for a list of people to pray for so that we could draw attention to them? Can you imagine? And then let me say this, because I got to say this to y'all. This is what Kyle, for me, this is how I'm interpreting Kyle's comment. But y'all don't say nothing. Y'all sit there and y'all still put these lists up. Y'all don't say nothing to the person who still leaves the post up. Even today, the post is up. Y'all still support. Y'all still participate. Listen, this is what we talking about. This kind of movement right here. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. You're not serious. In the words of Reverend Naomi, so unserious and unstrategic. That's why people can't take us serious. People can't take us seriously. We ain't really about that movement life. We're not really about that movement life. We're not. Because we are still too insecure. We still want to participate in the system. We are still interested, Reverend Jamie, in follows and not freedom. We still want the clicks, which is why Spirit told me, you PRC, you gotta go. Acknowledge your own fear of, where will the people find me? Where, what about, with all the work that I've done? Listen. This is foolishness. The hell? Because what this time is going to do, it should really blur. It should really erase these lines. Listen. I did get hyped there for a minute, Takia, because that ish pisses me off. It's so dumb. And can I say this one other thing before we go over to the clearing? Those lists are so classed. Those are class-based. Are y'all seeing our culpability now? They're so class-based because those lists don't have any of the names of any of our storefront preachers. There's usually one name from our LGBTQIA community on there, and that's usually Bishop Flunder. But Bishop Flunder will tell you, Bishop Flunder is not the only LGBTQIA plus true speaker. Trailblazer, yes, only no. Because you do know that there are liberation preachers who have not had the formal seminary training. We're very talented 10th-ish over here. We are very talented 10th-ish over here. There's a sister who watches on YouTube who said to me, Dr. Melva, thank you so much. I feel so seen because I feel subconscious because I have not gone to seminary, but I know what God has told me and what I'm called to do, and I always feel away. That's us over here arguing about stuff on social media. That's us over here in the ego. That's us. That's us. That's us. That is us. Okay? That's us. It's just class. It's so class based. It's just so class based. And it also leaves out those who aren't reverends. Not only are those who are not doctors, those who are not reverends, but those who are proclaimers, those who've been in the streets, those who've been doing the work with no money, those who've been running organizations, running their own soup kitchens out of their own personal kitchen. Those who've been, listen, Linda, shut up. You're too old for that. Cut it out. If there's ever a time when we need to shut up, it's now. Dr. Brittany Cooper said it. Lene said it. Others have said it. We need to retreat to our underground, our hush harbor spaces. All talking, all conversations need to cease about anything of importance, of value in these social spaces. We need to gather and listen. We need to bring out the system. I ain't never been to jail, but I got family members who've been to jail. And I heard about, I think it's called the kite system. The way you get a message out is through writing something on a little piece of paper, putting it on something heavy, and then putting it on a string and sliding it out of your cell in a way that it'll get into the next cell, and that person passes it on to the get. Honey, we need that. See, first of all, I told y'all we not without strategies. But we so classes, we don't even see those strategies as survival. That's all I gotta say. And don't take people's silence for meaning collusion, because some of us are just preserving our energy. Some of us is over here healing even in the midst of chaos. Some of us are over here healing. Why? Because we know if indeed it's a fact. For instance, if there is going to be an issue with insulin, baby, I'm healing myself over here. Because what the system wants to do, the system wants to keep you in this state of constant fear, because what fear does to your body, fear wrecks your body, fear wrecks your internal system, and it keeps you in a constant state of flux. And this is part of the tactic. It is a fear tactic to get us running every which way, to get us fighting with each other, squabbling with each other, to get us, listen, no, that ain't the way you should boycott. We got to do this. No, we can't. Listen, there are always more than one moving parts, but in the words of Elder Fred Hampton, baby, you may believe that you could kill the revolutionary, but you will never kill the revolution. Never, 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 never. So I'm gone now. And those of you who come to the clearing, and can I say one more thing though before I go? This means that some of us, we're going to have to put up a paywall. We're going to have to put up a paywall. Not that people can't infiltrate paywalls, but we're going to have to put up a paywall. Some of our subscription communities, it's going to look different. And guess what? We don't want to hear we don't want to hear any complaints. Why? Because of the amount of money that we have spent in organizations and corporations, the amount of tabs you have given to a church that won't even let you fully show up as your full self, the amount of tabs that you have given to a church that has never even acknowledged or legitimized your relationship, be it same gender loving or heterosexual, the amount of ties that you have given a church that has never even preached to you about liberation and your full humanity. Honey, don't be distracted, friends. Keep your hands on the plow and hold on. Keep your hands on the plow and hold on. Keep your hands on the plow, hold on. And every time you feel like your hand is gonna slip, just think of Fannie Lou. Just think of Ella Joe. Yeah. Just think of Harriet. Moving people through those woods. Yeah. Listen, I know some of us got our claim to fame on these here apps. I know we did. I know we did. And it fed our ego. But we need to shift. We got to shift. Because our energy is required for this. And we have to be strategic about how we share it. And we have to be in place for those who, listen, for those who are, Ashe, and this is the last word. Social media democratizes processes. Because everybody has an opinion. And everyone can share it. I have thoughts, I have opinions, but I also have other mediums where I can share those thoughts and opinions. And for certain things, now listen, I'm going to leave them up to Lene because she got it and she said it. I don't have to in this area. It's people, I don't feel the need unless it's burning in me. I don't feel the need to have to. So that's all I got. That's all I got for us today. And for you screenshotters and screen recorders, y'all could go to hell too. I know it's time for me to get off. Because you're part of the problem too. You're part of the problem too. It doesn't take all of that. And can we all just get along? No, in war, we cannot all just get along. Yeah. No, we can't. We cannot all just get along. And it's a cost for talking like I'm talking. That means I'm going to keep being an outlier. I'm going to keep being over here. That means all the things. I'm not going here. I'm not going, all the things. Okay. And so be it. Yep. But the price of silence in this way, in this form, Ashe. I'm moving. I'm headed over. For those of you who desire and you want to be in the clearing with us, DM me. I'm not even going to any longer put the link up here. If you are on YouTube and you desire to be in the clearing, I just put our email there. Email me. The clearing is our subscription community. It is a nominal fee. It's $30 a month to be with us. We go right over after PRC. This is our digital hush harbor where we talk back to the text. We have another private community that we engage. You have an opportunity to, to engage. That's as much as I will say in that space. And so if you desire to be in that space with us, if you want to come over to that space, just go ahead and email me right now. I'm putting my email here also. I will send you the link and then you'll let me know once you once you join. Ashe, we out. Wait, I started this where we all we got. Because, and then I didn't even go touch it because I was about to start with the whole New Jack City. But those, if you know, for real, we really are all we got. And I hope you know that. Protect your peace. Just be quiet. Just walk out. Reserve your conversation for strategy sessions that really will affect change. And that's not going to be out here on social media in this way. Yeah. Use social media to, get the words out about certain things. But other things need to be real in-house today. Okay? Ashe. Love you.